The Neanderthals, an ancient species of human, roamed the Earth between 400,000 and 40,000 years ago. Their habitat spanned the vast expanse of Eurasia, a region marked by extreme conditions and shifting landscapes. Imagine living in a world where mammoths roamed the land and winter seemed to last forever. That's the world the Neanderthals knew. With the climate being unbearably cold, the Neanderthals had to be more than just survivors. They were masters of adaptation. Their physical traits, like thick skin and robust bodies, made them well suited to these harsh environments. So, how did they make it through? It wasn't by lounging in caves with a cup of hot cocoa, that's for sure. As for their neighbors, the Neanderthals shared this icy land with some impressive megafauna. Alongside mammoths, they had to contend with woolly rhinoceroses, saber-toothed tigers, and giant cave bears. Talk about having some serious competition for food. These creatures were both a source of sustenance and a threat, creating a constant struggle for survival. The Eurasian region itself was a vast and diverse place during the Neanderthals' reign. From icy tundras to dense forests, they navigated landscapes that required impressive survival strategies. With each season bringing new challenges, the Neanderthals had to stay alert and resourceful. After all, one misstep could mean running into a hungry predator. Despite the tough conditions, Neanderthals thrived for a long time, showing just how resilient they were. Their ability to adapt to such a challenging environment reflects their strength and ingenuity. But what really sets them apart from other species, including our own ancestors? Well, that's something we're still trying to figure out. Stay tuned. Neanderthals were built like tanks. They weren't just shorter than modern humans, they were stocky and incredibly strong. Imagine someone who could carry heavy loads for miles without breaking a sweat. Men averaged about 5'5" and weighed 183 pounds, while women were a bit smaller. But don't let their size fool you. They were built for power. Their bones were thicker and denser than ours, which gave them extra strength and protection. Think of it like having a body that's not just muscular, but reinforced with armor. The Neanderthal skeleton was designed to handle the roughest of conditions, from brutal cold to close encounters with dangerous animals. And speaking of strength, their muscles were no joke either. With elevated hormone levels, they packed impressive power, enabling them to perform feats we'd consider impossible today. These folks weren't spending their days lounging around. They were working hard to survive, dragging home massive chunks of meat from hunts or defending themselves against predators. Interestingly, Neanderthal arms and shoulders were well suited for close combat and handling large prey. Picture them wielding heavy spears and grappling with huge animals. Their upper bodies were built for strength, which likely made them experts in fighting off danger and securing meals, even in the harshest conditions. Despite their powerful build, Neanderthals weren't built for long-distance running like modern humans. Instead, they excelled in short bursts of power and speed. Their unique anatomy, while not perfect for endurance, made them exceptional hunters in the world they inhabited. Talk about nature's tough guys, right? Neanderthals weren't just tough, they were also strategic hunters. Picture this. Instead of sprinting after a herd, they used cunning and teamwork to bring down massive animals. With spears and even close combat tactics, they tackled everything from mammoths to giant bears. They knew when to fight and when to wait, making them the ultimate apex predators of their time. But let's talk food. Because Neanderthals weren't just surviving on berries. They had a hyper-carnivorous diet, with about 70% of their meals coming from meat. They hunted large mammals, but they also scavenged when the opportunity arose. Hunting big game was dangerous work, but it kept them fueled for the harsh, cold environment they lived in. To sustain their physically demanding lifestyle, Neanderthals needed a serious calorie boost. Their daily caloric intake was between 4,500 to 6,700 calories. Yes, you read that right. This wasn't just a casual snack. It was high-energy fuel to power their muscles and give them the strength to survive in one of the harshest climates Earth has ever known. Now, don't forget their teeth. Neanderthals had some seriously impressive chompers. Not only did they help in chewing tough meat, but their teeth were also tools in themselves. They could grip objects with their strong jaws, essentially giving them a third hand. Talk about multitasking. They didn't just eat food, they used their teeth to help them survive. It wasn't all about brute strength, though. Neanderthals were also skilled toolmakers. With the help of stone tools, they could prepare their kills with precision. From skinning animals to processing meat, their hunting strategies were complemented by their ability to craft tools that made the job a little easier. Because, let's face it, hunting mammoths with just your hands is pretty intense. Neanderthals weren't just strong, they were incredibly resilient. Imagine being in constant survival mode, facing predators, injuries, and harsh weather. Roughly 80% of their skeletons show signs of healed injuries, from broken bones to severe wounds. This wasn't just a result of bad luck. It was proof of their ability to endure and recover against all odds. These ancient humans didn't just heal. They learned to adapt to their surroundings. Their bodies were built to withstand the harsh cold, with thick skin, tough hair, and robust nails. This natural protection helped them thrive in environments where most others would have perished. It's like having built-in armor, which was crucial for survival in those tough times. Let's talk about their trauma recovery. Neanderthals often faced violent encounters with animals or rivals, leaving behind a trail of injuries. But instead of succumbing to these wounds, they managed to heal and carry on. It's likely that their close-knit groups helped, sharing knowledge of healing practices and providing support during tough times. Survival wasn't just physical, it was a community effort. Even when facing the most brutal conditions, Neanderthals didn't back down. Their ability to endure injuries, adapt to frigid climates, and deal with the pressure of constant threats made them tough survivors. They weren't invincible, but they were resilient enough to keep fighting. Their endurance wasn't just about physical strength, but about adapting to the world around them. The physical evidence of their resilience isn't just inspiring, it's a testament to their grit. Neanderthals endured a world where danger lurked around every corner. Through their injuries, adaptations, and survival strategies, they left a lasting legacy. Their ability to keep going no matter what is an incredible chapter in human evolution. Neanderthals weren't just strong, they had lungs that could rival an Olympic sprinter's. With lung capacity up to 40% larger than modern humans, they could take in a serious amount of air. This gave them an edge in their harsh environment, where survival often depended on short bursts of energy rather than long endurance. Their large lungs weren't just for show. They played a key role in helping them hunt and survive in frigid climates. Neanderthals' nasal passages were also longer and wider than ours, which helped warm up the cold air they breathed. So, while we were shivering, they were probably breathing in the icy air like it was no big deal. Think about this. In a world full of wild animals, thick forests, and icy winds, being able to take in large amounts of oxygen gave Neanderthals an edge in close combat and hunting. While they didn't have the endurance to run marathons, their explosive power was unmatched. Their lungs helped fuel that burst of speed and strength needed to survive. Despite their impressive lung capacity, Neanderthals didn't rely on endurance like we do today. Instead, they focused on quick, powerful movements, whether it was hunting large game or defending themselves. It was all about short, intense actions, kind of like sprinting at full speed for your life, then resting before the next burst of activity. In the end, Neanderthal physiology was the ultimate survival kit. They were adapted to handle the cold, the danger, and the challenges of their world. With lungs that could power them through intense bursts and a body built for action, they were truly equipped to thrive in a world that would have crushed less capable species. The Neanderthal brain was surprisingly large, even bigger than ours, with males having brains around 1,640 cm3. This gave them the capacity for complex thought, problem-solving, and communication. Imagine having a brain the size of an NFL quarterback's, but with the survival skills of a mountain lion. That's the Neanderthal brain for you. Despite their impressive brain size, Neanderthals didn't exactly spend their days pondering the meaning of life. Instead, their brain power was geared towards survival. They had the cognitive ability to create tools, track animals, and even care for the sick, skills that kept them one step ahead of the dangers in their world. Neanderthals also had a sharper focus on senses that helped them thrive in their environment. Their vision was more acute, likely because their eyes were 15% larger than ours. This wasn't just for spotting predators. Enhanced sight helped them track prey and navigate the rough, icy terrain they called home. Their sensory adaptations were their secret weapons. It's also important to note that while their brains were larger, Neanderthals' cognitive abilities were not entirely the same as ours. They had a more developed sense of smell, too, which likely helped them detect danger or find food. Their sense of touch and hearing were also finely tuned, giving them the upper hand in a world filled with constant threats. The complexity of their behavior and cognitive skills suggests that Neanderthals were more than just brute force. They understood their environment, made tools, cared for their community, and likely had their own forms of communication. They may not have written poetry, but their brains were working overtime to ensure survival, making them far more sophisticated than we once thought. Neanderthals may have disappeared 40,000 years ago, but they didn't leave without a trace. In fact, their genetic legacy lives on in modern humans. About 1–2% of the DNA of people of European and Asian descent comes from Neanderthals. It's like having an ancient ancestor who didn't just fade into history, they're still part of us today. Their genes have had some surprising impacts. For example, some of the traits they passed on affect things like our immune systems and even skin pigmentation. Some Neanderthal genes help us fight off certain diseases, while others may have influenced how we respond to environmental stress. Who knew a bit of ancient DNA could be so useful? While we've inherited some beneficial traits, not all of their genetic gifts are glamorous. For instance, Neanderthal genes have been linked to certain conditions, like increased risk for depression or autoimmune diseases. It seems that while they made us stronger in some ways, they might have left us with a few quirks that we're still figuring out today. What's truly fascinating is the genetic mix we share. Neanderthals interbred with early Homo sapiens, and this blending of species helped shape who we are now. It's like a genetic cocktail that has had a lasting influence on modern humanity. This ancient connection has added a layer of complexity to human evolution that scientists are still uncovering. So, while we may not always think about it, Neanderthals have had a lasting impact on who we are. From our immune systems to our tendencies towards certain conditions, their DNA is woven into our very being. We might think we're fully modern, but those ancient ancestors still live within us, making us all just a little bit Neanderthal. Neanderthals were the ultimate survivalists, and their physical adaptations were key to their success in harsh environments. Their robust jaws and large teeth weren't just for chewing. They were built for gripping and manipulating tools, allowing them to handle tough tasks. They didn't just eat food, they used their teeth to help them survive, multitasking in ways we can only admire. Their hands were also built for function. With wide fingers and thumbs angled for precision, Neanderthals could grasp objects with remarkable force. Whether it was crafting weapons or processing meat, their hands were perfectly designed for the job. It's like having a tool built right into your body. Talk about evolutionary engineering at its best. Neanderthals also had thicker skin, tougher nails, and more robust hair. All adaptations that helped them endure the brutal cold and harsh conditions they faced. Imagine walking through icy winds with barely any clothing, but still managing to stay warm. Their bodies were basically one big survival mechanism, perfectly engineered for their environment. And let's not forget their resilience in the face of injuries. Neanderthals often survived serious wounds, thanks to their strong bone structure and ability to heal. Many of their skeletons show signs of broken bones that were repaired, demonstrating their ability to recover and carry on, despite the dangers of the world they inhabited. In the grand scheme of evolution, Neanderthals were truly unique. Their physical adaptations weren't just about surviving, they were about thriving in one of the most difficult periods of Earth's history. They may be gone, but their legacy of resilience and ingenuity still echoes through the DNA of modern humans. If you enjoyed this content and want to keep learning about fascinating topics like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss a new video, and leave a like if you liked it. Oh, and share it with your friends so they can learn with us too. See you next time.